That's right. It is the morning show right here on KVVB TV, channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Roku TV, Apple TV, Alexa, Fire Stick as well, Fire Cube if you have it. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. This is the morning show, and boy, oh boy, am I glad to be alive. Seriously, in life, there are so many issues happening in just life. Coronavirusville is alive and well, and I think it's making people kind of go quite more mad and angry than they ever used to be, seriously. But here's what I know. I got Mr. Jesse Sanchez, who's not mad or angry or nothing of the sort. In fact, he's quite jovial this morning. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning. Yes, I am very happy, except for I'm a bit traumatized because I had a bad dream, and not a bad dream, but more like, do you remember that candy corn flavor I mentioned to you a couple days ago?
Yeah, oh no. Don't tell me the candy corn man came in your dreams. Okay, so what happened, and are you willing to talk about it then or throw it out there?
It's pretty much all our food is in candy corn form. I don't like it.
Oh my goodness, that was the dream. Everything was candy corn. You were like, you know what? Okay, so what happened in the dream? Was it just like you were in the middle of like a candy corn fest or what?
It was just like a regular day, and then I opened the cabinet, and then there's just jars of candy corn, and each one says like a different flavor. Bread, butter, and all this. I'm just like, oh my God, why is it like this?
Man must live not on bread alone, but candy corn, according to Jesus Sanchez. There you go. That didn't go anywhere, huh? Well, you know what? Look. Maybe it's a spirit dream. Okay, maybe it's like stay away from the candy, and or this candy is so good your mouth needs to like enjoy this morsel before you have any other food. Maybe your body's telling you, give me the candy corn. What do you think? No? Maybe so?
No, I think I'm traumatized by the Thanksgiving dinner flavor candy corn that just got released. So,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't got that news. If you want to share that around the corner, then that's up to you. Although I feel like you're going to have more dreams like that. I've never had a dream like that. Has anybody else had a dream like that? Does anybody know dreamology? There's a science to dreams. We got to look that up. There's a book that I don't know what they have when you dream of candy in your dreams. Anyway, all right. Well, we need to take a break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. So I want to say thank you to the audience, by the way. We're super happy to announce we now have on YouTube Live a super chat feature. It's brand new. So YouTube has this thing with broadcasters, and I don't know how I'm going to use it, to be honest. But I know it's good for fundraising. It's good maybe for film projects. It's good for charities. I don't know if people are more willing to pay out or not. I really don't know. But it's like a donation basis. I think you donate and then you get like a super chat, and then you get like a cool either shout out, which I hand a lot out for free. So there must be like a additional ability with that. So, but it's a thing with YouTube. So I'm not going to knock it because it's a pretty cool thing. And I say, hey, if it means some money in the pocket, I'm all for it. However, we're still going to provide this show free of charge. And all you got to do is just pay attention to the ads. Okay. And who knows? You might actually like some of the ads. You really might. So there you go. But thank you, each and every one of you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your kindness. A lot of people are kind during coronavirus. Not all people, but most people are kind.
20 seconds.
Surround yourself with kind people that continue to be kind. That don't break character of wanting to be kind. Then you'll be okay. All right, thanks, Jesse.
Two seconds.
It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience there at KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Roku TV, Apple TV, Alexa, Fire Stick TV, and many, many more. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us here on the show. I'm hearing a huge echo here, Jesse. I don't know what's going on with Skype. I'm going to have to oh, there it goes. It went away. But look, technology, as good as it is, sometimes it can fail, and we appreciate each and every one of you. As you can tell, I have a brand new laptop, not by choice, by the way. But there you go. So it's quite massive. It covers the majority of me. Let me just move it over just a little. I feel like it's right in the middle of our conversation. Okay, look, the majority of you know me, and I often speak from the heart. And look, yesterday I came out about a lot of stuff, and I came out quite adamantly about life in general. And I said a lot of stuff, and I feel like I just need to kind of say one more thing, and then I'll be done with it. Many of you know I'm currently going through an official breakup, not by my choice, okay? However, I just feel like I need to put this out there. I'm always going to be wanting good things for the family. That's all I need to say about that. There you go. That's all I'm going to say, seriously. Okay. All right. The rest of you, I appreciate you. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We've got a great show planned for you. We've got a lot of interesting topics here on the news, and including this one. Coronavirus is unfortunately alive and well. However, there's a little bit of hope. And it's coming over actually from China. Some researchers are looking at what they call old-fashioned treatment that they think will work for coronavirus. Plasma Technologies has signed a defense contract worth, get this, $750,000 to help develop scaled-up COVID-19 convalescent plasma technologies, according to an announcement on the Department of Defense website Monday. It's the latest development in the effort to use a 19th century treatment to help 21st century patients. The contract with the Department of Defense's Joint Acquisition Task Force is to develop a new convalescent blood plasma process that makes more serum-derived products and faster. President Donald Trump and U.S. health leaders have done a full-court press to encourage people who survived COVID-19 to donate plasma to help those who are sick. 2 weeks ago, on a tour of the Red Cross, Trump implored people to volunteer to donate plasma as soon as you can. According to this, he says, we have a lot of people that would get better as soon as you can. Please. There's a lot more stories on this, but look, there's going to be all types of different things being thrown in order to try to get a handle on this. Now, I got a question for Jesse, though. Jesse, you had an interesting dream, one involving a particular type of candy. Can you share with us the dream, and is there a vaccine for it?
Hopefully there is a vaccine for it. No, I go into Walgreens yesterday, and I see a bag of candy corn, and it is Thanksgiving dinner flavor. So it's pretty much all the fixings, sweet potato pie, stuffing, cranberry sauce, green beans, and each candy corn is a different flavor. So I had a dream where all food was candy corn, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not a big fan of candy corn.
Just because of the dream. Maybe the dream was trying to tell you don't eat candy corn, or maybe it's telling you it's so delicious you should have it, get it out of your system. I don't know that I've ever dreamt. You know what I've dreamt of? I've dreamt of my teeth falling out. I remember having a bad accident in a dream, and I went over a one of those high off ramps, and the car ended up crashing into face forward. And all my teeth, I kid you not, I came out of it thinking, do I have any teeth left? And I was like 15 at the time, and I was always afraid of getting in a bad car accident like that, or like if that's how I go out, I don't want to go out like that, right? But I seriously felt like I had no teeth. So that one, I don't even know what that means, other than drive safely, pay attention to all oncoming traffic, right? So there you go. Sometimes dreams are just dreams, thank God, right? But sometimes that's a weird dream. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that anybody has the answer for you on that. So eat responsibly, I guess, is the message there, Jesse. Yeah. All right. Let's see. So we got lots of other news as well. Look, coronavirus. Unfortunately, I mean, here's kind of some stuff that is more positive than negative. Here's a couple headlines. I'll start with this one: movies, drag shows in mall parking lots amid virus. So that I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I know what kind of drag show it is, but I'm not sure if it's the drag shows everybody's gonna think of just yet. You know what? Let's pull up that article and agree to disagree. I don't judge. I've been to one event where I had to be part of the. You know what? Each to their own. That's all I got to say about that. Again, no judgment. It's interesting. Angel Doherty went to the mall last month, not to shop, but to watch a drive-in drag show in the parking lot. Oh no, it's a real drag show. Okay. This year had been so anxiety-filled and chaotic. I figured this experience would be something to lighten the mood. That's according to Doherty, who paid to see the stars of TV's RuPaul's Drag Race. Which again, I've been to a drag show, but it was like for a charity, and that's it. I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty talented, really. Like when you see, you're like, I thought that was a lady. No, it's not a lady. I was like, wow, okay. Dance in front of hundreds of parked cars at a shop center in Paramus, New Jersey. After being closed for months due to the coronavirus pandemic, malls are bringing all types of drive-in entertainment to their massive parking lots, hoping to lure people back to their properties. A mall in upstate New York, for example, is hosting a drive-in. Get this. I could get behind this, Jesse. I don't know about you. Wrestling match. Would you do that?
A drive. Yeah, I go to that. That sounds pretty cool. Just watch people beat each other up in your car.
I mean, I would imagine they test both, or I don't even know how that works. But there you go. Others around the country are bringing movies or magic shows that can be watched from a car. Okay, you know what? I get that one. It's a way to reintroduce people to the mall and eventually get them inside to shop. Because have you been to the mall lately? Nobody's inside. I'm like, where did all the shoppers go? And they have huge discounts. I mean, right now, if you haven't been to the mall, they have like 70, 80% off because they have old merchandise and they're trying to get out the old merchandise. I don't even know if they got in summer stuff because I got all winter stuff when I went. But there you go. According to this, it then says this, Newland agrees with me. Newland says this, nobody wants to go there. Nobody wanted to go there before COVID. Malls have struggled to attract shoppers for years as more people shop online, but the pandemic has hit malls especially hard. Stores that they depend on, such as JCPenney, have filed for bankruptcy, are permanently closing several locations. We've known about that for quite some time. Other mall tenants, such as the Gap, stopped paying rent while their stores were temporarily closed. People haven't been paying their rent, not just residents, by the way. It's been going on with businesses for quite some time. Retail consultant Jan Rogers Niffen believes that up to half of the 1,000 malls in the U.S. Will either close or be unrecognizable in the next 2 years. Now, see, that's somebody that recognizes what reality is if we don't get a handle on this. They're not throwing caution to the wind. They're just saying, how can we adapt to keep up? Because if we continue on in this way, back to President Donald Trump, if you guys are going to talk about anything, let's get that virus vaccine taken care of quick, fast, snappy. Make sure it's safe before we start administering it, because I'm not sure what different side effects are going to happen with that. I'm still on the side of that. I'm not going to lie. And I think somebody said, or I read, maybe it was wrong or fake news, I don't really know, but that one of the presidential candidates, I think it was Biden, was pushing to make it mandatory to take this, when the vaccine comes out, which I'm not entirely for. I don't know about you, Jesse, but when you make it a mandatory vaccine, which may still have potential side effects, I'm not against vaccinating. I'm just I don't think I want to be the first one vaccinated. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. But from what I read, you don't have a choice on whether or not you want to be vaccinated.
Yeah, and see, I don't even know. I'm like, I get certain people that say they don't agree with vaccinations because I see, and most doctors that you talk to will always say there's an inherent risk with anything in a general population. They try to keep it. I think we had an expert here on the show that said, what was it, like under 3%, maybe? As high as 5%? If you could keep it below that threshold, it's technically safe by FDA standards, right? Until like more come out, and then they have like that, you know, the kind which always you see on well, you used to see on television, which were like, disclaimer: if you took this type of drug, you may be liable for a lawsuit, right? And you're almost like, God, I wish I took that drug. I wonder how much money I'd make, you know? I know my mom was a part of one a while back. What? She's like, she couldn't tell me the whole story, but she got a partial settlement, but that was like 15 years ago, you know, and that money's gone. But, you know, but it caused other issues in her body, you know? So some of these drugs, after a certain amount of time, but they know because they cash in on the deal. So my point is this, people, don't throw caution to the wind. And you know what? I'm not saying not to get vaccinated. I'm just saying I don't think it should be mandatory if a person so chooses not to. And I think, honestly, you should treat those most prone, just like the flu vaccination, right? Flu vaccination is technically the flu vaccine, the flu shot, okay, is different than a typical vaccine, right? Like what is it? Smallpox, the really major heavy hitters that are quite mandatory, right? For you to go back to school and all those. I get those, but those have been around for quite some time. But yeah, even the flu, right? I mean, you get a shot like that, you do what to the majority of the public, or just those that A, can afford it, or B, have health insurance that does it, or C, just, you know, they make it affordable until they run out. And then what are you going to do? So are they going to even have enough vaccines for the majority of people? That's the question. Because if they could barely have enough for the flu, I kind of think they're already going to have a shortage just to begin with. So I think they're going to not make it mandatory eventually. I think they're just going to say those most prone to these particular, not side effects, because it takes time for. Yeah, exactly that. But I don't think it's the right thing to make it mandatory that every single person. And let's face it, if it's a vaccine and those that get it, well, then you're protected from it. Those that don't get it, they're not protected for it. So who would want to? You understand what I'm saying? You understand? Like, am I wrong on that? I don't know. I mean, you know, but whatever. Who knows? Oh, by the way, for those of you wondering, my sister's good. Last I checked, she has no alarming fever. She currently has tested positive for COVID-19. She's currently isolating in another group home. They've been taking care of her. She's in good spirits. And she's being cooperative, which is good. That means she's happy. They said she was outside, like in the sun on the porch, right? Not going around everywhere. And obviously they're wearing all their face masks and protective gear. And look, back to the face mask. My sister will rip off any face mask off her face because she doesn't understand, okay? She doesn't understand. That's my sister. So you can't make a kid with special needs or disabilities wear a face mask. I get that. But of course, the facility members are all being very careful. And you know what? I appreciate those frontline workers that are taking care of my sister, making sure she gets well, and hopefully she'll get through this. So I appreciate each and every one of your prayers, more than you know, on her and other stuff. And I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. And I especially appreciate you if you go follow me on YouTube. All you need to type in is, I don't know how to change the monogram, even though I kind of put it on the back burner, Hollywood Social Lounge. But if you type in Hollywood Social Lounge on YouTube, I put a link on my Facebook page. I'll put some other links as well. But if you basically, and I think I forgot to put all the other links. Anyway, it's been a long couple of weeks. Just go and like that, subscribe, and then who knows, maybe you can be featured. Pretty cool, right? I'll try to think of some cool ideas if you like donate, but you don't have to donate just to watch. Seriously, you don't. But if your heart compels you, hey, you know, we'll make it last. Okay, people, maybe we'll pay for other advertising to get into more homes. I don't know. But I do appreciate you. We got to take a quick break. I see you trigger happy over there, Jesse. So go ahead and take us to the break, even though I can't hear the music. I'm gonna let you beatbox. Just beatbox. Do a little like beatbox, or you know what? Just sing us out.
And we're gone. Tune in again in 3 minutes because we'll be back.
There it is. We'll be right back right after this. All right, people, we are here on our commercial break. We appreciate each and every one of you on each and every one of these channels. Oh, by the way, I used to put LinkedIn updates late. I think we're streaming to LinkedIn too, all at the same time. So I want to include our LinkedIn audience. Oh no, it says error. I don't know. LinkedIn's kind of fussy. It might say error, but you might still be streaming. So I'll check you guys out later. But if you're joining us on any one of the platforms, we appreciate you. Thank you. Let's do some shout outs. How about that? Let's see. MT Boy tuning in. Thank you on Periscope. Ubiquitous B Dog tuning in. MT Boy tuning in. Betty Boo. I want to call you Betty Boo. I don't know that I want to call her by this name, even though it's her username, Jesse. Jesse, would you be okay if I said her username, even though I didn't pick it?
What's her username? You're like, you're driving me crazy now. So what is it?
It's Betty Boo. You know, maybe it's Betty Boo BS 18. Maybe that's what it is. Did that give you a hint? I feel like if I say that, somebody's going to edit what I say, and they're going to say, "Look what he says about women." I did not name Betty Boo BS. You get it? 18. I did not. And if she's 18, I don't even want to go there in my head. It's way too young. But 30 is my minimum cutoff, by the way. I don't want to go there either. What's the Play app is tuning in. Thank you. What's the Play app? We appreciate you. Let us know what's playing on the Play app. Okay, cool. All right. I'll be here all week, folks. Seriously.
5 seconds.
All right, thanks.
2 seconds.
Excuse me. Not coronavirus. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMT 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience there, KVVB TV 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Roku TV, Apple TV, Alexa Now, Fire Stick as well, and YouTube TV. No, not YouTube TV. YouTube Live has Super Chat enabled. So if you want to Super Chat us, then Super Chat us, and we'll give you a special. I don't. Jesse, what do you think is a good, like, if somebody donates even $1, what do you think is a good, like, because we do shout outs all the time. We don't charge. What's a good, like repayment of that $1? Because you don't give it back. You're like, what do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't mind giving shout outs. Let's give shout outs. But you already did.
You know, I should have you bring up YouTube. You know, we'll work on that. I'll think of something really cool to give people when they like give money. I personally never would think people would want to give money to the show. I really don't. But hey, who am I to, refuse money? Okay, but anyway, look, if you just support us and you subscribe and you just watch our shows or you watch our programming, many of you come back time and time again, and you see all different types of things. And if you're still here, I love you more than you know. I think the other show that I did actually got like 3,000 hits right overnight. I was like, oh, a lot of people saw that. But you know what? It's okay. It is what it is. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about something that a lot of people got questions on, or maybe don't. The second night of the virtual Democratic National Convention included a roll call in which Joe Biden formally secured the delegates to become the party's presidential nominee. The evening featured some notables there, including Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, Colin Powell, former Secretary of State to Republican, the party's presidential nominee. The evening featured speeches from, quite a few people. It ended with a moving segment chronicling the love story that led Biden to his wife, Jill Biden. Jill Biden capped off the night with a personal speech about how family tragedies, including the death of his first wife and infant daughter, and later the death of their son, Beau, helped to shape the former vice president's character. Jill, of course, talked about not only of family grief. Dr. Jill Biden, by the way, former second lady, spoke from the empty halls of Brandywine High School, where she once taught English. She said, quote, "I hear it from so many of you, the frustration of parents juggling work while they support their children's learning or are afraid that their kids might get sick from school." That's what she said, alluding to school closures, of course, and openings occurring as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. She went on to say this: across the country, educators, parents, first responders, Americans of all walks of life are putting their shoulders back, fighting for each other. We haven't given up, she said. Biden's endorsement of her husband was extremely personal. And of course, drawing on the death of their son, Beau, which I don't think a lot of people really knew about Biden. Did you know about that, Jesse?
I knew absolutely none of that.
Yeah, here's what she said. Quote, 4 days after Beau's funeral, I watched Joe shave and put on his suit. I saw him steel himself in the mirror, S-T-E-E-L is the way they said it. Take a breath, put his shoulders back, and walk out into a world empty of our son. He went back to work. That's just who he is. And you know what? I'll be honest. I did not know that about Mr. Biden. Biden drew parallels between the couple's grief over their son and the suffering of the nation amid a deadly pandemic and a recession. She went on to say this, quote, how do you make a broken family whole? You know what? I would love to know that answer. The same way you make a nation whole, with love and understanding, with small acts of kindness. You know what? I think they took a playbook of our show. Isn't that what I said? Anyway, it's about Joe, not me. With bravery, with unwavering faith, I like this lady. I really do. You show up for each other. Boy, that's so necessary during coronavirus. In big ways and small ones, again and again. You know what? I got nothing but good stuff to say about this speech. Beau Biden, unfortunately, died in 2015, quite recent, at 46, after battling glioblastoma, the most aggressive form of brain cancer. The former vice president has said Beau's death was what led him to decide against a run for the White House in 2016. The death was also one of the reasons Biden chose Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate, as the two became friends when Harris was Attorney General in California and Beau Biden held the same role in Delaware. Biden's losses have helped define his political career. Throughout his campaign, he's been known to shed tears when talking with voters on the campaign trail about his own pain and grief. Biden lost his first wife. This is sad. I don't, there's no fun in losing anybody in death, including a love of your life. Nelia, and their 1-year-old daughter, Naomi, in a car crash. That happened in 1972 when he was only 29. He was a senator-elect. The crash left his 2 sons hospitalized. This is just like terrible tragedy. I give him more props than I ever did, to be honest. According to this, it went on. Colin Powell said some things about him. He says this. You know what? I'm going to stop there. But here's what I say. Look, the man has undergone tragedy of the highest degree. The highest. And you know what I say to that? There's no harm in sharing what happened to you in your life eventually. Sometimes people don't know what happens in people's lives. Sometimes they don't know what's happening behind the curtain of secrecy, right? Or stuff that people aren't willing to share, right? I'm pretty open about my life. I share things. People get upset that I share things. Most recently, I shared yesterday, I'm single, and got called out on that stuff. So I'm like, well, here we are again. So look, here's what I say, people. If you want to do the right thing, continue doing the right thing. And what I mean by that is just in generality, okay? If you always do the right thing, you never have to worry about stuff being exposed, quite literally, right? I've always been honest about my lack of funds, right? I've always been honest. I've always been, and said this quite plainly on the show, I always take every job I can. I used to drive Lyft. A lot of people don't know that. I used to drive Lyft just to like put food on the table as well and ad so that I could keep a show on the air, right? I did all this. And unfortunately, I feel like people have forgotten all the stuff I did for them. Oh, seriously. But here's what I need people to know. In the next coming weeks, I'm sure somebody will say something about what I did or didn't do or lack thereof. So I'm going to go on the offense and tell you right here, right now. I am not running for president of the United States of America. Therefore, I don't need to come out about anything. But if I were, you know what? I'd have to come out about everything. So thank God I didn't hit the lotto. Thank God I'm not running for president of the United States of America because, man, oh, man, people would want to shut me up left and right. So here's what I say. I love each and every one of you. You know who you are. And even though you might have shown your true colors, I still say, you know what? I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And eventually you'll figure that out. All right, people, we've got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, for those of you tuning in, we appreciate you. Thank you. We love you. We're taking a commercial break on social media. I mean, on social media, you're seeing what we do behind the scenes. Let me show you Jesse over there. Jesse, are you able to... Nah, because we have that filter behind you, so never mind. Sometimes you see Jesse's arm move or like disappear, or his head kind of disappear. Watch, move back a little. I just want to show people. Oh my God, he's invisible. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cool Skype feature. It does that, by the way. People that don't know that has a thing. Where do you find that? In advanced or settings or something, Jesse? Do you remember? I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's because I have myself muted. It's in the settings under audio and video.
Because I think a lot of
And
people...
as long as you're updated
Yeah, go ahead.
to the new Skype, it has you can add background, so it's really neat.
That's good for a messy room, by the way, just to let people know. You know, I used to tell a particular friend of mine, who I hope is a friend of mine now, that you know, you don't have to worry about the background because you could just put your filter on behind you, right? It just like goes, boop. You don't even need a green screen. People are like, why do you need a green screen? All creatives are like, oh, I don't need a green screen. But it's a little like temperamental, you know?
Yeah, it's a quick fix. It's not a... If you don't have a green screen, it's a great alternative, but I would still prefer a green screen because it's more stable.
Yeah.
For the... You see how it flickers when you rapidly move and stuff?
Yeah.
But,
well, and that's webcam. That's that's the problem with the webcam you guys have, because I installed that webcam. I know it's my webcam. So I apologize. I didn't have funds at the time. But, you know, I gave you my best webcam at the time. But there's probably better cameras. We'll probably provide that in the future, because now I'm going to be rolling in dough if you guys keep watching and sharing.
10 seconds. Rolling in Play-Doh.
Yeah,
2
seriously.
seconds.
Shoot. Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience there at KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Roku TV, Apple TV, Fire Stick TV, and much, much more. You know what, Jesse? I think we need just a graphic that says also seen on, because I feel as though I repeat it over and over and over and over.
I repeat it over and over and over.
Kind of like that. I'm hearing my voice again. See, we're really having technical difficulties with Skype, but it is a thing we're trying to get Microsoft to work on it, which is why I was against Microsoft buying TikTok, because I can almost guarantee you Microsoft really messed up LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn for what it could be. I don't like it for what it is. Does that make sense? And Microsoft bought LinkedIn, for those who didn't know. So Microsoft, I used to love the guy, Bill Gates. But now I'm like, can you have put better people on the task at hand? Because I heard from somebody they're not even going to be providing support for Skype. I don't know how real that is, or if that's like rumor mill. But there you go. Okay, let's go to some possible news you can use. Uber and Lyft. Do you depend on Uber? Do you depend on Lyft? Do you depend on Uber or Lyft to make some money? I know many people that live their lives in cars that they bought for delivery services. They bought cars so that they could actually do it. So let me bring up the latest, because there's a lot of news happening on that, and a lot of people are kind of shocked, to be honest, including myself, because literally I had to find a ride here because I no longer have a vehicle. I was the first thing I was like, oh, I'll just try. Oh man, of all days for Uber. But here's the thing: I was told through social media, people were like, Uber and Lyft is not working as of tomorrow. But here's the latest. Evidently, maybe I can get a ride home. So Uber and Lyft could shut down in California over AB 5, by the way. Okay. So evidently they're still, I don't know if they're still operating, but they said they could be closing down as early as today. So I still don't know what the news is on that, but this is the latest that I found. Ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft could shut down in California. Oh, now they're moving it to Friday. I have a day left. That's awesome. I can get home on my own Uber ride or Lyft. Have you ever taken Uber or Lyft, Jesse?
Negative. I use Uber Eats, but I've never taken an Uber or.
And from what I understand, I think Uber Eats is going to stay in business because it's like food sharing, but there's some, anyway, so here's the deal. They could shut down as early as Friday due to a judge's ruling ordering the companies to classify their drivers as employees, not contractors. I thought it was coronavirus situation. Evidently not. It's all like this other stuff. Uber and Lyft have warned their users and drivers about the possible shutdown. Both companies have appealed the ruling. The issue stems from Assembly Bill 5. This is one that's been going on for quite some time. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure this is the best time to make that happen. And I understand. Look, ride sharing, I'm hesitant just to ride share with anybody that isn't like, you know, especially one that doesn't want to wear a face mask. That's why, honestly, I didn't do it for quite some time so that I could save both my mom and you know, the other family members. And I quit for that reason because I don't want to put them in harm's way. I'm like, well, if I get coronavirus, I'm pretty sure I will feel fine. But, you know, I'd have to self-isolate in a different location. So, which is still an option. Obviously, it's still an option. But this has been going on for quite some time. And I feel bad for the drivers that do this because they put food on the table. This is the way they put their food on the table, right? I know a lot of drivers that do this. And they've only, some have made it a science, by the way. But according to this, the issue stems from Assembly Bill 5, a law that classifies contractors as employees, giving them the right to unionize, have access to minimum wage, overtime, paid sick leave, and workers' compensation benefits. I don't think this could have come at a worse time for people, by the way. You know how many people I know that don't have a vehicle and depend on Uber and or Lyft transportation just to go to work? Just to go to work. I know people are like, well, there's still the bus transportation service. And I'm like, put a lot of people in that. I mean, you know, technically you get coronavirusville, right? Unless they do what New York does and wipe them down every day. And even then, does everybody work? There's just questions I got that I want answers to. And I've seen some Uber or Lyft drivers that put a little barrier, like a plastic barrier, right, in the middle portion. You know, they convert their car. So I feel bad mainly for the two people, the hardworking people that get around in Ubers or Lyfts, because I know because I used to drive a Lyft on the side, by the way. So I know what it's like to be a good driver. I had almost a 5-star rating. Do you know how hard that is to get, Jesse, in Lyft world?
I'm assuming incredibly difficult.
Super difficult, especially with the amount of drives that I had done. I think I passed like a 200 drive threshold. I drove all over town, you know, and you meet all kinds of people. You meet grumpy people, you meet mad people, you meet people that are hungover, you meet people that are drunk in your back seat. You're like, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Jesse, I had one. I'm like, oh God, I hope he gets out safe, you know? And he was like, hey, yeah, you know, he was just almost passing out in my car. I was, what?
5 in the afternoon?
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of early to be wasted, you know. But he was like, but he got up. He was like, thank you. I was like, do you need any? And he just like walked off. I'm like, I feel like that guy is used to this. But you know how there's like certain drunks that are just like used to being drunk, and they just, you know what I mean? Like they never quite fall over because there's something like they always like kind of, you know what I mean? But
yeah, they're drunken masters.
My hat's off to the people that can hold their liquor. But this guy couldn't. And so I never drove quite late because I never wanted somebody to throw up in the car or do some pretty questionable behavior in the back seat. Let's just put it that way. It happens. Talk about taxi cab confessions, Jesse. You don't have no idea how many times I wanted to put a little camera and then just like film the conversation. I have conversations for days with people that just open up about their life, their ex-partner, their husband that they're mad at, that they're angry at. A dime a dozen. I'm like, oh, and that was before coronavirus. I bet you some Uber and Lyft drivers have some very interesting stories. You should ask them. But there you go. So evidently, this is kind of going to be a thing. I'm not going to belabor the point. If you are an Uber driver or if you thought about doing this to make some ends meet, I think there's still some other services that are delivery services like Uber Eats, like you just mentioned, Jesse, which I think are still going to be valid. I just saw one which I think they're pivoting from passengers to start deliver, or maybe it's not the passengers. I think it's the employee thing. And I think Uber and Lyft are saying, we don't want to go there. Which I say, why not? I mean, you might not make as much money, but at least you'll make something. Something's better than nothing, right? Or maybe that's a liability they don't want to pay. So here's what I would challenge Uber and Lyft. Do the right thing by your employees. Just acquiesce. I know, and I get it. You made a lot of money during the time because you don't pay as much as you would have to pay for an employee. But here's what I would do. And I said this, I think, before. Go back to the court system and say, look, how about we have a multi-tier? Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. If you're a restaurant owner and you have people that are waiters or waitresses, if you go under a certain amount of time, you're technically part-time. You don't qualify for employee standards. In order to qualify for employee standards, you got to do like, I think 30 hours plus. I think, is that the new norm? I don't know. I haven't waited in a while, although I'm tempted. But when it comes to that, my question is, why don't you just do a multi-tier? Say, okay, once they get to that level, and shouldn't you want to take care of your people that put wear and tear on their tires, put wear and tear on their car? Shoot, I put a lot of wear and tear on that car. So I get it. And it's no fun, especially when you got to claim taxes at the end of the year. But anyway. And then there's this heading. America's 2020 election may already be irrevocably tainted. Oh, come on. Is that really a thing? This is, I think, an opinion piece. According to this, let's see. Yeah, I think it's an opinion piece. No other modern U.S. president has entered a re-election race claiming in advance that the result is likely to be massively corrupt and unfair. You know what? I actually kind of agree with that. That's what, I mean, Trump has basically already set a precedent saying, oh, he's almost set it up to be like fake news. You know what I mean? Whenever you disagree, or whenever he disagrees with whatever the story is, oh, that's fake news. So the question is, and I know this begs the question, no matter what happens in this race, will he accept the loss? I think that's the biggest question here, and that's what this study actually goes into. You know, I'm going to read this for a minute, hot second. I'm going to take a break. Let's come back. If this is a good article and they have good opinions, I'll share it. I just saw it. I thought it was an interesting title, and you know what? Let's agree to disagree if I agree with this statement. Okay, bye, people. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, people, I appreciate you more than you know. No matter what's going on in your life, here's what I want you to know. You are not alone, okay? Everybody has stuff they don't talk about. And you know what? Sometimes we don't want to belabor the point. We don't want to, make other people feel bad. So all I want to ask is that you guys keep each other in each other's prayers, okay? And I know many of you are friends now because of the morning show. So I want to say thank you for staying tuned each and every day to the morning show and all we do here at the station. I'm going to be tasked in the next few weeks in order to say, well, how can we make use of YouTube monetization routes? So I may have some special guests on. I'm already working on one, a musician. She is super talented, amazingly talented. And so talented, I think you guys need to hear her music. So I won't announce it just yet because we're still in the talks to get her on the show. As early, hopefully, as tomorrow, if I can make it work. But I guarantee you're going to be like, wow, I just signed me up for her CD, okay? But musicians, comedians, filmmakers, actors, all in so many are not making a dime right now because you don't have public events. So you got to figure out, think outside the box and think, well, how can I support? I mean, the providing content. Is the content for free? Yes, but maybe I could throw $1 over their way, right? Maybe I could give them $1. So I'll be talking about some things, including a film that we're going to feature on Facebook. I now have a new cool tool called Events. For those of you that don't have an official page, get an official page, get verified for monetization. They actually do pay. Not much, but they pay. And you can charge for tickets, by the way, to any event and or I think virtual event, which I think is amazing in of itself because they're adapting quick and fast. I didn't know this was a thing, but you could charge. Typically, you had to go to Eventbrite and charge for tickets, but now Facebook has it. So when you see it, if your heart moves you to support whatever it is, feel free to, get a ticket. I'm against webinars because those are so boring. Unless you guys tell me there's a webinar you've been wanting to know about.
5 seconds.
I do webinars all the time, and nobody ever signs
2
up.
seconds.
So whatever. All right, thanks. That's right. It's the morning show. You're on ABC News Radio, KMT, 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience there at KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Roku TV, Apple TV, Alexa, Fire Stick as well. Don't forget, on YouTube Live, we now have a cool new feature called Super Chat. And we got super stickers, by the way. Those are a thing. I gotta do more research, but we're streaming on all platforms now live. We used to like take it and then rebroadcast it, and that was just a pain in the butt. But we invested a little bit of money to help get more eyes and ears. So if you're here for the very first time, I appreciate you more than you know, and hopefully we can impart some knowledge. But for right now, let's talk about our chat rooms lit up over there on Facebook. Michael Rudy Valdez says, good morning from Starfish from Santa Monica. Oh, Michael, I remember you, and I want to say big heart out to you. Sometimes life has a way of making you jump on your head, but that's all you need to know. Okay. Diana Carbajal, thank you. Diana, tuning in. D. Piercy, thank you. Angela Jacobs, thank you for tuning in. Stephanie Reed says, is that a Razer laptop, or what kind of laptop is that? I'll be honest, I forgot what kind of... Oh, it's a Republic of Gamers laptop. So it's a gaming laptop here at the station. It's theirs, not mine. I think this is a very expensive laptop, so I have to be very careful with it. Okay. The other laptop, quite suddenly, is no longer my laptop. So there you go. Stephanie Reed, let's see. Thank you for that message. D. Piercy, thank you. Let's see. Casey Murdoch, appreciate you. Tovar Anel says, what a joke. Not sure which one was a joke. Diana Carball says, Aaron, you should invite a dream interpreter. You know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that. Some are kind of spot on, then some of the just kind of creepy spot on. I remember somebody telling sharing their dream with a dream interpreter, and I'm like, I don't believe in that sort of thing. And then I would get like dreams that would like end up coming true, and you're like, is that premonition or what is that? Like, when you see places before they actually like you see them, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Kind of like the station. I had a dream about that. No joke. So I knew this station would be important, and that was like 5 years ago, but I had the dream about like almost a year and a half before I saw this station. And then I saw myself like getting an audience member, although that hasn't happened, but although technically you are my audience. So you see what I mean? Like dreams sometimes, I think, are messages from the other side to say, this is the path we want you on. No matter what happens, this is the path we want you on. And then there's just dreams that make you confused. For example, one time I got shot in my dream. I was like, oh, I got shot. And I felt the shot. I was like, oh my goodness. It was kind of like that teeth dream. If you're just tuning in, I have dreams where I feel the pain. And I'm like, I just got shot. And I went at this guy who took out a gun, tried to like take people out. For some reason, I had a yellow car, and I've never had a yellow car. And then there was equipment in there in the latter part of the dream. But I went at him, and he got a shot off. He was a big guy, too, in the dream. I got the gun away from him, and I still got shot in the side. So I drove myself, admittedly so, to the hospital. And then guess who I saw there, Jesse?
Who did you see?
You. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't see you at that time. I saw the little guy from Harry Potter, the little guy that would like fix things, like the little, what was his name? The little guy from Harry Potter. He was like long nose and kind of, huh?
How about the elf, Dobby?
Yeah, it was him. And I'm like, I don't even watch Harry Potter. That's so weird. So I was like, I was trying to divine that dream because there were certain situations that led up to that. And I called my friend at the time and go, I think I'd get shot. And I called up another friend. I'm like, I need a vest. I need a bulletproof vest. I don't want to get shot. So anyway, hopefully that never happens. And if it does, you heard it here first. So there you go. But let's go to some news you can use. Again, look, here's one. Coronavirus can survive on surfaces, tests show. Oh, great. You know what? Let's go ahead and go to that one. That's the latest news. I don't think that's really new news. I think they've kind of been saying that for quite some time. But you know what? Maybe they have better information. So here's the article. The coronavirus can survive on surfaces. No, it doesn't seem to matter. What does that mean? Last week, a new coronavirus outbreak in New Zealand. This is from ABC News, by the way, just so you know where I'm getting my info from. Where cases were originally thought to be linked to frozen food. Again, beg the often asked but rarely answered question, can you catch COVID-19 from a surface contaminated with the virus? Frozen food? Really? We're going there? While experts say it's impossible to completely rule out the possibility that someone might touch a surface covered in coronavirus and then inadvertently become infected, there have been no documented cases of this happening in real life. Oh, whew. Well, then why are you guys scaring us over here? At the start of the pandemic, we wiped down our groceries because we weren't sure. Now experts say it's not a major concern, although they continue to encourage good hand hygiene. According to Dr. Todd B. Ellerin, who's an infectious disease specialist at South Shore Health in Massachusetts, said this: I think that overall, while it is possible and can't be ruled out, it seems unlikely given the way that we think the virus is transmitted. I have no idea what he just said. Did you get that statement? Okay, I'm gonna read that again. I think that overall, while it is possible and can't be ruled out, it seems unlikely given the way that we think the virus is okay, I don't know what I kind of get it. It's like saving yourself from I don't know, I don't want to commit to this answer, right? I don't want to make a commitment. There you go. New Zealand's health authorities ruled out the possibility that their coronavirus resurgence was caused by frozen food or other freight. You know what? That's really sad because I was so hopeful for New Zealand. Remember when they said we got a handle on this? Do you remember that? That was a while back. What was that? May, I think. We were like,
yeah, I think. Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, I was happy for New Zealand, but they have the resurgence. And like I said, just because you see a dip doesn't mean it can't resurge quite suddenly. That's the way this virus works, and that's why we're all trying to do the right thing, you know? And look, it causes frustration in the household. It causes frustration in people's lives. People don't think clearly. I think people, unfortunately, are taking too many drugs, if you know what I mean. To test for viruses on surfaces, scientists use a swab, not unlike a cotton Q-tip, and rub it all over the surface in question. Then they put the sample through the same machines used to test for viruses in people. But the scientific uncertainty about viral transmission has left the public feeling on edge about packages, food, other surfaces. I just want them to get to the point. Is it on surfaces or not? This is like a long article for me to just say, what the heck? So I'm going to scroll to the end. Whenever you guys speed read, here's what I always do. You get the first two paragraphs, then you get the last, and then all the other stuff in the middle is just like word count. You know what I mean, Jesse? That's how I speed read. I'm like, you know what? They always address it at the very end, so here it is. Dr. Ben Singer, physician scientist in pulmonary and critical care medicine at the Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine, called it only a theoretical concern that someone could catch COVID-19 from contaminated frozen food. The CDC has similarly said there's no evidence to support transmission of COVID-19 associated with food. According to the latest science, experts recommend common sense techniques for preventing COVID-19. Wear a mask, follow social distancing protocols, and especially before you eat, wash your hands. Here's my feeling on the matter, Jesse. You know the flu virus? Let's just go back to that. Or the cold virus. I think we have better hygiene now to be more safe than any of those things ever before. I would love to see us even cut down on coronavirus. Well, coronavirus, I don't know about that. But flu viruses and or cold viruses. Wouldn't that be cool if we were all like super hygienic? Because there's UV lights that kill stuff from surfaces that I know they use. And hospitals use these UV lights. You can put we have a device at the house for my mom and I, which you put the cell phone and or the glasses or the face mask and it kills whatever bacteria is on it. You just leave it in for 3 minutes. It's a lower level one. There's some higher end ones that do it like within 30 seconds, but this is kind of a low level one. And you don't want to get it exposed to the skin, obviously, and or your eyes. You don't want to look at it like, yeah, look at that UV light. Because, evidently it could damage, especially high powers of it. But there's ultra low emitting diode UV lights that do so in the spectrum of the UV light, ultraviolet light. So there you go. I had to do a lot of research because at first I was like, is this a real thing or is this a gimmick? So there you go. Okay, people. Well, you know what? It's kind of come to that end. So here's my parting words for each and every one of you, okay? No matter what in your life happens, remember this. We're all in it together, okay? Excuse me. Sure, there's people in your life that may be there for a moment, may be there for a season, and may never be there ever again. It's called breakups. Breakups happen, right? However, always wish that person and their family members to do the right thing. Stay safe, continue making sure that they do the right thing. Never wish harm or evil, no matter how they treat you, okay? Always wish good upon those other people. They say, if you do more good comes back to you eventually, right? So here's what I say to each and every person. You do more good will come back to you eventually. Maybe not with the same people in your life. Because I've lost several people that I always thought was going to be close to me for life. But you know what I say? Time and unforeseen occurrence befall us all. It's a thing. Don't shoot the messenger. It's a thing. And during coronavirus, people's anxiety levels at highest levels ever. So honestly, I say this, be more forgiving to people that are stressed out, mad, angry, sad. If they're exhibiting these and you're exhibiting love and caringness and wanting to help, know who's on the right side of that fence, okay? And keep doing the right thing. If you're that person, be more loving, be more caring, be more loving. Seriously, lead with love. And if you're on the opposite end of that fence, you're mad, you're angry, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're unhappy in life, you got to do some soul searching. You really do. And you got to say, what am I doing to better myself? And am I doing exactly what I need to do? And is this the type of person I want to be? Or is this the type of person I become because I've allowed myself to become this hateful, mad, angry person? Look, you can't help yourself if you're sad. I get that. But hateful, mad, and angry, you need to step back and just say, where am I in the stream of things? Is this the time to be those things? Seriously, are we in the last days? Are we in the end of times? Whatever you think it is, here's what I say. Be peaceable among all men. Okay, people, I got to go, or Jesse's got to go. See ya, Jesse. We'll see you tomorrow here on The Morning Show. And as Jesse leaves us and the radio station, don't forget to download our app. It's KMET 1490 AM. If our TV feed is never working, although I have it on good authority, it's going to be working really well, especially now that we're on multiple platforms. So I get a lot of people that go, "What? You're on radio, you're on TV, you're on online," and we've done so here at the station. I'm proud of the team that we have here because they make things happen. You give them a suggestion, and they go, "This is how we do it," right? And I was like, "Dang, we've been at this for the last 5 years, I want to say, to make this TV station all that it is," and I appreciate this TV station. If I haven't said it up until now, I appreciate KBBB TV, Channel 33, and the owner, Tim Harris. He and I may not see eye to eye politically or on other things, but you know what? It's better to not always agree and come through to the other side and say, what did I learn from that conversation, right? And in life, you're going to meet people like that. You're going to meet people that don't always agree with you. You can't surround yourself with just people that agree with you. You got to surround yourself with people that at least agree to disagree and still come back to the center and say, you know what? I may not agree with you, but I still care about you. I still want you to do the right thing, and I still don't want you to die from coronavirus. I say that to each and every person that I meet that goes toe-to-toe with me. I say, you know, I still love you. They go, I know. You know, I love you more than you love yourself, probably, because I really love you. Like, I so much love you. Like, I'm willing to take a hit, a fall, or a bullet for my friends, and they know who they are, including those that may never talk to me again. So that's my party message. I love each and every one of you for sticking it in there through the thick and thin. And who knows, maybe on the other side of this coronavirus, maybe we could all be friends again. And maybe one day we'll laugh about all the crazy times we had to go through. Okay, people, make it a great day.
Gotta cry to keep from laughing. My eyes are playing tricks on me, 'cause I never thought I'd see you here again. Are you for real or are you acting? Claiming that I'm the best you had, and you wanna go right back to being more than friends. Sorry, I must have missed the punchline. You had the spotlight in my life, but baby, now you're out of touch.